Welcome, everyone. This is the info day for the introduction to JavaScript and data analytics. And some of you are here because you are current students and some of you are new to Ready School. So the purpose of today is to get an insight in Ready School, who we are, and specifically these two courses, and how it is to be a Ready student. And before I'll tell you more about the agenda for today, I would love if you could go to slido.com and type in this code you can see here, 11133, and you can do that while I'm presenting the agenda, then we will use it in a split second. The agenda of today is, as I said, I will tell you about Ready School for those of you who don't know yet. Then Frida, who is here with me from the Ready team, and Julia from the Ready team, they will present more info on the JavaScript and data analytics. And then Goha, a current student, will share her perspective on how it is to be a Ready student, and I will get back to all the formalities and all the details on being a Ready student. I will end up telling about the process from here, if you want to apply for one of the courses, what to do, and the important dates and everything. And regarding questions, just please write in the chat during the whole thing if you have anything, and then we will see if we can sum up during different parts of this info day with your questions. Yes. So just type them in, and we'll take it along the way. Normally, when this is not in a Corona situation and everything is online, we have some social games or exercises, and we can't do that. So for now, we just want you all to go into the link you just saw before, slido.com, and type the code 11133. And if you go in there, I will just share with you the results of some questions we're going to ask you in there. Yes. Here. All right. So we will have one question for you so we can get to know each other a little bit. And Frida is coming up with the first question. And you just answer the question you think matches you the most. Yes. I can see some are good today, fine, tired. 14% are on fire. Okay. And still none has a really lousy Monday. So that's good to hear. Yes, okay. It seems like everyone is quite good. So that's great. And next question is which course you're interested in, just for us to get a perspective of that. We have most for data analytics, some for Java. All right. Great. Yeah. And those of you who haven't answered, it's okay. If you have any problems during this info day, just write in the chat and we'll try to help you out. But thanks for your answers. Now we know each other a little bit better. And I will get back to the presentation here. All right. I can see that many of you already know Ready School, but for those of you who don't know us that well yet, I will just briefly give you an introduction. Ready School started in Germany and has been here in Denmark for a little bit over than a year. It's our third semester now running, and we will start the spring semester as our fourth semester. The big why are we here as Ready School is that we saw that as if you're a woman with a background as a refugee or migrant, you face a lot of barriers when you try to unfold your life, socially, personally, or professionally. And it occurs both to women at digital, like higher level, like you, who want to get a digital career. It's difficult to get into the IT industries, and it's also concerning the women who are not digital yet, but just has to learn IT. So that's why we in Ready School want to help break down these barriers and create opportunities, social and professional, for women. That's our mission, and that's why we love what we do, to help opening these doors. We do it for both digital literacy students, which is women who are completely new with a computer and has to learn how to use IT at a basic level. And then we do it for tech students like you, who want to create IT and get into this field professionally and pursue a digital career. And how we do it is that we don't think it's all about the digital skills, what you actually can do, that you get from us, but we also focus on the network, because we see that it also reflects who you know, also reflects in your opportunities. And then we focus on the soft skills of how you think about things and your interpretation in different areas, and also what you believe. So what we hope to bring to all our students in both groups is also confidence in what you do. And many of you has tried so hard in a lot of time breaking through barriers without any results. So we just want to, if we can, like very humble, but try to open these doors. So that's why we talk about digital empowerment, because we hope that that all our students benefit with this from being with Ready School. So to be more specific, what we do is that we have these IT courses, for now JavaScript and data analytics, and it's 13 weeks. I will get back to that, but we do have the courses. Then we have some workshops aside and some career advising aside from the courses, where you can join if you feel for it, if you need the specific areas. It could be some soft skills like presenter techniques, or knowing your competencies, or we just had one on how to learn IT. Maybe some of you participated, I don't know. The psychology of learning. And then as a third thing, we do also have these company visits, which is of course more difficult now online, but we had one last week at TDC, where you can visit the companies, get some sort of insight from their perspective, what they search for in job candidates. So we hope that all this together can give a package for the students to feel that they have more tools to move ahead and unfold themselves in the life. In general, actually. And now Frida and Julia want to say a little bit more about the classes, the 2 courses. And we'll start with introduction to JavaScript.
Hi, everybody. Okay, I will tell you a bit about our JavaScript course. I myself is not teaching the JavaScript course, but I'm the volunteer coordinator. So I'm the one who recruits the teachers who's going to teach it. And it's nice to see so many people here. And I also saw that some of you are interested in JavaScript. So that's a very nice start. JavaScript is a language that is used to build web pages. It's also used for other stuff, but it's the most popular language when coders have to build web pages. Normally, when students go to Ready School, they haven't tried coding before, or at least they're very new to it. So on the screen, you can see a picture of what JavaScript actually is. It's actually just a language. It's just computer language instead of English or Danish or any other language. So it's really just about learning different terminology and learning different phrases, and just in a different manner. The way coding really works is that you learn some phrases and then you build upon to logic, so you can in the end create a web page. On our course, you will not be professional web developers. On the screen, you can see a black box. That is actually where you write the code. It's called a terminal. So what you will learn is that the teachers will tell you some different stuff about terminology and data and other language related to coding that you will then learn to write into the terminal. And then in the end, you will also have an output. And the output of the terminal that you can see on the screen is the result of the project that the students built the last semester. This semester, the teachers has also incorporated a language called HTML and CSS, which is more the visual parts that actually ends out showing the code you do in JavaScript. So this semester, the project will be a bit more fancy than the one the last semester, but it's also to provide you with an overview of what level you will actually end out being able to code in. So it's an introductory level where they will start from the beginning, learning all the basics. And then in the end, you will be able to make a simple project, something similar to the to-do list you can see on the screen. And I think we will wait with the questions a bit, right? Mm-hmm. So afterwards, you can ask some questions. And Goha is also a student at the coding course. So she can also tell a lot about what they have learned and have a lot of skills that she can actually also show. Maybe not today, but maybe at some other day.
Hi everyone, I'm Julia. I'm going to tell you about the data analytics course, which I saw a lot of you were interested in. It's the first time that we are running this course, so we are still in the process of finalizing the curriculum. But this is going to be like a good overview of what you will learn. So as I've written on the left side, the purpose is to collect, transform, and model, analyze, and visualize data sets. And these data sets will come from some actual companies or real world examples. So you will also be getting feedback on the work that you do with those data sets. And very importantly, this is based on Python. So there are different ways of doing data analytics. You can use different types of languages, and Python will be the required one in this case. So you will also be, if you already know a lot of Python, this will be, there will be some basics in there, and then you will also learn data analyzing analytics techniques on top of that. And if you don't know a lot of Python, you should take some introductory courses before you apply. But I will get to that in a minute. Yeah, and so further on, there will be some data mining, there will be some machine learning, both on supervised and unsupervised, so labeled and unlabeled data. And the focus will be on open source technologies. So you will learn how to access those and how to navigate those, because that's by far the best and most futuristic way of learning and working. And then you, in the end, you will have a project which will be basically building one predictive model yourself. And this might all sound very complicated, but overall, data analytics is just, like I said in the very first sentence, being able to access data sets, being able to clean them, merge them, transform them, find them, organize them, and then taking that data and working with it. So either building a model that can predict future data and what that data will then mean in relation to previous data, or it can be just really just organizing data and making it more visual for the businesses or the companies that you will be working with in future. So the cool thing about this course is that you will also get access to Codecamp, because as a teaching organization, we can apply for that and grant you that access. So on the side, there will also be learning on that platform. We also get some workshops on some kind of visualization software. We're still figuring out which one it will be, but it will be one that is used in the real world. So one of the 3 that I mentioned on the slide. And again, real world data sets and open source resources and introduction to machine learning and predictive modeling at the very end of the course. And the requirements, as I said, very important, some kind of programming understanding, either in R, Ruby, Python, or SQL, because again, it doesn't really matter which one of these languages you understand, because in the end, you are working with the same principles and you're working in the same way, but it will be Python that we will use. It's like saying you speak either French or Spanish and you understand the grammar rules, but you still need to kind of use one or the other language. Yeah, so if you haven't gotten any experience in Python, Ruby, R, or SQL, you should take beginners or intermediate equal courses on Codecamp. So not necessarily on Codecamp, but you can go on Codecamp and check out what they are teaching, and then see there's lots of ways you can learn them on free sites as well.
What is Codecamp?
Codecamp is it's a learning platform where you are taking through modules. So you can do beginners Python, you can do Python for data science, you can do different levels, and you will get access to all of that when you are with us.
I just want to add, if any of you are doubting whether or not you want to apply for data analytics or JavaScript, the careers you will have will be different depending on what kind of course you want. Both of them is built up upon that you also will have some coding skills and you will use that, but data analytics is way more focused on the analytical part and finding answers in data, where the coding you will use for the web pages is a lot more just about learning a language in some way, and then in the end you will have one concrete output where data analytics is focused on something you can use to analyzing different kinds of data. Yeah.
I've made a huge mistake. It's called Data Camp, not Code Camp. I'm really sorry about that. They're called so many different things, but I will send you some resources for free learning as well. It's just because the Data Camp courses will be the ones that we will be building upon. So I will just send you the resources in the chat now. Sorry about that.
Okay. And now we mentioned a lot about just like what you will learn on the course, which is where we in some way emphasize logical thinking and data and analysis. But working with data analytics and JavaScript in a company, it's not only about being analytical, it's of course also something that you will collaborate with other people in the organization about. So you won't just sit alone all day and talk with nobody. It's also something that is related to projects that other people do. So if you also enjoy being creative and collaborating, that's also room for that when you work with data analytics or JavaScript.
All right. Then I will move on. I can see that we have some questions. We have some questions in the chat. Should we wait until the end? Yeah. Let's wait with the questions. Then we'll move on to all the things around being a ready student. And before I will get into all the details about it, why not start with a student's perspective? So Goha has said that she wants to share her experience of being a ready student, and she can present herself. Yes, Goha, take it away.
Thank you so much, Maya, Frida, and Julia. Thanks a lot for inviting to talk today about my experience. And I should start telling that I'm a little bit sad because my last class will be after tomorrow. Then I will graduate from this program, and I don't know what I will do. I mean, I know what I will do, but I don't know what I will do without Ready. So. To start from the beginning, I should mention that I don't have any IT education. My all educational background is based on art and culture. So I didn't code before, and I started to code only because of the lockdown, when I understood that it's something that can change the life now, because everything is online, and our mode of thinking and communicating is changed a lot. And then, since I was also suffering a lot here, trying to find job and establish myself in Denmark, and I know that it's not easy for anyone who comes here and don't know language or don't have enough network. I've decided that it will be really good, and since I'm very passionate, to change my career towards web development, and now I'm sure that I really want to go towards maybe even front-end development. So I heard about Ready after that, after studying a few months by myself and suffering a lot because I couldn't find, I found a lot of online courses, but I couldn't find a way to implement my skills, to implement the knowledge which I got from these courses. You can study JavaScript, you can learn algorithms, but you really need support and guidance and real good teachers, and also real nice community to help you to go through it, because it can be difficult, but it's something that can be possible to realize for sure. So when I came to Ready and I've got accepted, my journey, my real nice journey started here for these last 3 months. And I should say that I am quite good now with JavaScript on at least a basic level, but I also found amazing community here, community of women who share their problems, thoughts, worries, and they find confidence, inspiration, and motivation. This is really important, especially in coding, because then you can give up at some point. One day you can't do anything, like your code is not working and you just give up. And then you need people around you to give hope, to give encouragement, inspiration to continue to do this. So I should say that Ready is not only a school where you can get technical skills, it's a school where you can get a lot. You can get motivation, which is the most important thing, I think. And besides this, as you already mentioned, Maya, before, we had our ordinary classes once in a week for 3 hours, but also we had workshops, psychology of coding, which is really useful workshop. I think we will have a workshop about Git also next week. We had really nice company visits, although online, but no, one of them was to founders' house where we met 6 startups, and it was really nice and interesting, and it enlarged our network, and we just saw how these new tech companies can work. And then visit to TDC last week, which was online visit, but it was real interesting way of communication. Unfortunately, because of lockdown, I think we missed few social events. But I mean, it would be nice to have it, but it's not. It's now how life is structured. And then the most important aspect also is that we got real support connected with building our CVs and LinkedIns. with career coaches, and they were so nice. And I think like I upgraded my CV since like from the beginning, and it's something different now if I look back and compare what I had before. I should also mention that teachers are really awesome. They help a lot. So whatever we learn in one class, we have a recap in the next class. So you don't miss anything. If you come with the basic knowledge, you don't know anything about coding, it's not a problem. You will learn everything. You will go through all the syntax again and again and again until you will understand it. And teachers are so nice. They just answer questions, whatever question you have. And if you have extra questions, they are always helpful, supportive, even out of classes also. I mean, sometimes we bother our teachers sending our code and asking to look at that. Finally, I would say that basically we learn JavaScript on a basic level, but it's a fundamental level on which you can build your knowledge with extra sources also, and further also by yourself, or maybe with the help of other online courses which you can find. But it's something very, very let's say like that, something that you can't get if you will not come to this school, which I'm sure now. And I hope that whoever decides to join and get accepted will go through this amazing path and journey. And I just can wish everyone to continue to study, and study by yourself, study even without like before applying, just start to study HTML, CSS, to have some basic knowledge on which you can structure and construct your further experience. And thank you. I hope I give enough information, and if you have any questions, I can answer.
Maybe Guha, you can share your project of this semester, share, or maybe just tell what you did, or just as inspiration of what it could be.
Yeah, sure. I built a small quiz for coders, but it's visually very nice to see. I don't know like how it will be, how I can tell about it, but it's like a small game where by which coders can just play and get some scores after finishing the game, and also enlarge their knowledge about the basic information about JavaScript and HTML and CSS, something that will help you to practice again and again and again. So I built this for future students of Ready, and I hope they will use it when their classes will start. And just to tell quickly, if someone is aware about JavaScript, it's just I used conditionals, some basic syntax conditionals and functions, real basic structure of JavaScript, but which I already know how to use, and I'm super happy for that. I think this is what everyone can get from Ready. Whatever you know about JavaScript, you can already implement in a way that you will be satisfied from the knowledge that you get here. So it's just yeah. I hope I explained enough. It's just something that I need to show, not to just talk about.
Thank you, Guha. If anyone has questions for Guha, you can also just put it in the chat and we can get back to it. Guha, do we have anything else? No,
I just wish everyone good luck, and never stop, never give up. This is something that's why I like Ready a lot, because you get confidence. I mean, maybe you don't know enough to get a junior or a senior web developer job right after, but you get enough confidence to study more and more and more, and you will get something for sure. I also can mention that one of our students already got a job, and this is something that inspires all of us. So we're really happy, and we wish everyone to have this success in their life and in their career.
Wow, thank you, Goha, for all the fantastic words. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to add to what Goha said. Goha mentioned that like where you will start at Ready School, it's just to start out in a group, and then you can build more knowledge upon it afterwards. And that's also really how we think it. As Goha also said, it can be really difficult to learn how to code. It's a lot about actually solving puzzles, or it feels like that. So you try to write something, and sometimes it doesn't work, and then suddenly it works, and it gives you like a rush that what you built suddenly works. But it also makes it a bit frustrating in the beginning. So the idea is that in the 12 weeks that students are here, then they can get help and from the teachers. Then afterwards, people can build competences on their own, and maybe sit together with some of the other students they met her. So it's really just a really nice starting point. And yeah, some students already got jobs, and that's really nice. And also Goha's project is actually really cool. So I hope some of you will get to see it.
All right. Thank you again, Goha. It touches my heart when you talk about it that way. All right, let's move on. Then I'll just deep down to the details, the framework of being a Ready student. As I mentioned earlier, it's 13 weeks, and it's every Tuesday in the spring. So it starts February 2nd and ends May 4th. And then there's an Easter break, March 13th. So it's basically every Tuesday night from 5:30 to 8:30 in the spring. And the courses are taught at the same time. So all 4 tech courses we do have are at the same time. So you can't join more than one. But you are welcome to apply for more than one, and then you say which is your first and second priority if you have interest in more than one course. The location we are right now finalizing, we know it's going to be at Dansk IT, and then we have another one which is almost certain. But at these times with Corona, we really want to find a place where we know that we can stay and where the risk of moving is very little. But for sure it will be some company in Copenhagen, but we'll have to get back to all of you with the exact place. Yes. And then I want to highlight that I put in this little Corona picture because I want to highlight that it is face-to-face classes. It's physical. You meet up and you are there in the same room, and we do meet all the Corona restrictions from the officials, and we really adapt to it while changing. We did a lot this fall to keep the face-to-face teaching because we know that it it's fine to move online with classes, but this we have right now is not the same as being together in the same room. You can't share the same amount of humor, or just the interaction is different. So we will, as much as we can, try to keep the classes physical in the springtime, but it's very important for us to highlight that we do meet all the restrictions, all the criteria. So it's small classes, below 10 people with the teachers, and there's a good space and everything, just for everyone to feel safe about it. Yes, that was just important to highlight. And then let's move on, because I want to say some things about what you can expect from us. I already mentioned it, that you get these courses, it's for free, and the teachers are volunteers. I haven't said it yet. Maybe some of you don't know, but it's amazing teachers. Like Goha said, they're all doing it as volunteers because they want to share their knowledge. So they're really passionate about it, which I think that you can really tell when you are there. If any of you don't have a laptop, you can borrow one from us while at the course, and of course in the whole period. You could bring it home, and then you get all assistance from us, the team, and from the teachers. As Goha said, we'll have some Slack channels where you can communicate if you have questions to the homework or anything. What we do expect from you is to be on time and to be there every time. We know that it's sometimes something occurs, especially right now. You have to wait for a corona test answer or something, and you have to stay home. We know that, but it's important to get a seat in the class, that you have cleared your schedule and know that you are available every Tuesday night. If you are, can I ask all of you just to mute yourself if you're not muted? Thanks. If you are present 10 out of 13 times, you will get a certificate where it says what you have learned, which you of course also can use when applying for jobs later on. Then we really want to engage the students, so it's not that much one-way communication as it is right now. So we want all students to participate actively, sharing their perspectives, their thoughts, all their questions, being brave to ask about all the things they don't understand, and just share, because in that way the students will get more out of it, and it would also be more fun to be there. And then we just hope that our students will participate in all these extra things we have mentioned, the workshops, the company visits, career advising, and we have a demo day at the end of the semester where students will present. We will do it this year in end of this semester in December at Dansk Industri. I don't know what it's called in English, just Danish industry, I don't know. But it's going to be a big event where we will gather the whole Ready School. So all these things are not mandatory, but we hope that you would, prioritize to join it as well. And that's also, as we said sometimes now, also Goha, you mentioned it, that it's kind of the heart of Ready School, that it's not only the classes. Yes. And this you can see now is also at our website. I just want to highlight it because then it's clear to everyone that we do have a lot of applicants for our courses, and we, in the perfect world, we would love to give a seat to anyone, everyone, but we can't. So this is our selection criteria. It takes that you're a woman with a background as refugee or migrant. It doesn't matter how long you've been here in Denmark, if you're a newcomer or if you have been here for 35 years. As long as you're not born and raised. You're highly motivated to participate actively, as I just mentioned. And then we have a criteria that is that you have thought about what you want to get out of the course and use it for. So you can see it as a step in your path. For example, career path, it would be for you. And that you cannot obtain these skills in other ways, because we want to give the seats to those of you who need it the most. And then we have one criteria, which is that you're unemployed or has a job that is not within your field of education. Yes, which we find that a lot of you do have, like jobs because you need an income, but it's not relevant at all for where you want to go. Yes, and then that you're not a full-time student. If you are enrolled in full-time education, then you might have already some sort of network. That's why it's also a criteria. But I want to say, related to this selection criteria, that you're always welcome to apply, because it all depends on which applicants we get each semester. So if you think, oh, am I a right candidate, then just please apply, and then we take a look at it. Yes, and let me know in the chat if you have any questions to this related to the selection criteria. How many people will get on the courses? We don't know exactly yet, because it also depends on the corona situation. If it opens up to more than 10 people gathered, if that is possible, then we can make larger teams or larger classes, sorry. And then we can have like 35 students in total. We can have for all tech students, that means 10 for data analytics and 10 at least for JavaScript, maybe more. But if it keeps the limitation of 10 people, then it has to include one from our team and the teachers. Then it's only 7 students plus 7, and then we're right now pursuing possibilities for making more small teams. So I can't answer the question specifically how many students we will have in the spring. Yeah, sorry for that, but it's between for JavaScript and data analytics, it's between 10 and 20, I would say. Yeah, so sorry for that. We have to await the situation like everyone else. Yes. And the process from here, I saw that some of you also asked in the chat about it. If you think that this is interesting for you and you really want to apply for one of these 2 courses, the process is this, which is also from the website. You already signed up for the info day, and this is now. So next step is to apply online for a course on December 3rd. We will put up on the website the application form where you can just type in your application, and it's open until January 10. So there is time to apply. So if you want to think it through, you can also do that. And I will send all of you who are here today an email with the application link as well. So you can just follow that. Then the process is that we will take a look at all the applicants and select all of you who we think could match the course, and then invite you for an interview. And it's very low key. It's not like a job interview at all. It's just an informal chat with you about your thoughts about why you want to join, and to levelize expectations, and also to talk about your level of competencies, if you maybe are already too good, or if you need some more knowledge, which you could, as Julia mentioned, also gain from us. If you understand regarding the English level, if you're good enough, I think if you can understand this info day that we have here, I would say that your level is fine enough. So yeah, it's up to you. Of course, there are some terms and more difficult language when you're working with JavaScript or data analytics, but I think you will learn it along the way if you understand what we're talking about right now. When you have been to the interview, then you'll get an answer from us on January 22nd if you are enrolled, or if we unfortunately cannot give you a seat. You can right now, if you want to apply for the course and you know that you will apply, make a cross in your calendar the January 18th or 20th, both days, because that's the interview days. And then we will contact you after January 10th when we have the whole pool of applicants. But if you've been to the interview, then January 22nd, you will know if you are enrolled. And we will offer all of you who went to the interview, if not enrolled, to be at our waiting list, because sometimes it happens that some has to change plans in life and has to drop out. Yes. So then semester starts February 2nd with the first class, and where you will also meet the teachers, and everything will start in Ready School. So that's kind of the process from here. So also, if you know someone else who could be interested, we will put this on the website, this video of today, and then you can always go to the website, to Ready School's website, to apply for the course until January 10. Okay, someone's asking about certificate. As I mentioned a bit earlier, that you will, if you have been to the courses, 10 out of the 13 classes, you will get a certificate saying what you've learned, which you can use in your future career when applying for jobs. Yes. And then it's just open for other questions. Frida or Julia, have you seen in the chat if we have someone? We answered everything. I think we just take some minutes here. If you want to ask, you're also welcome just to unmute yourself and ask a question. And all questions are welcome, because it's also difficult right now when it's online, because normally when we have these info days, almost every time someone says, "Oh, I don't think I know enough. I'm totally new. Am I too new to JavaScript," for example? And maybe we already got around it. And Julia and Frida, you mentioned something about it, but please don't hold back your questions. I mean, even if it's about if you know too little or too much. Yes. Nope. No question.
Actually, on this note, I can say that asking questions is highly encouraged during the classes, because you need to use all this time and possibility of getting all the knowledge from your teachers. So asking a lot of questions and extra questions, this is something that will give you more productive outcome from your classes. So I will encourage everyone to always be ready for extra questions, or just if you can't understand anything, ask again and again. So on this note, questions are important.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good question. We had a question in the chat regarding the company visits. And that's actually also something I could have included, because we get that question a lot. So thank you for the question. A company visit is it will often be connected to a workshop at the company, where you learn some new skills, and then you at the same time get a presentation from the company about how it is to work with them, and which, for example, opportunities they do have right now, or which areas they normally search for new applicants in. But it is important from our side in Ready School to say that we can't guarantee anyone to get an internship or to get a job. We are trying to make the companies more open to meet our students for vacant positions or internships, but we can't promise anything. So it's not like we're doing the actual link to get a job, but I think, and Goha, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that if you made use of the, for example, career advising, and you show up at the company visits, you will feel more maybe not comfortable, but
Confident.
Confident. You'll feel that you get something with you that will make you stronger in your future career process. We just can't promise anyone a job or an internship, unfortunately. It's good.
And we just got some other questions as well. There's a question saying, for JavaScript, should I need to prepare something before applying? And the answer is that you don't need to prepare anything specific. It's only the data analytics course where you need to have specific technical skills. The JavaScript course is for beginners within coding, so it's not a requirement. I think that if you're interested in JavaScript, then for your own sake, it might be fun just to try a bit HTML and CSS before, because you will learn some of it in the beginning of your course, but it will make it more fun if you have a basic understanding of what JavaScript is integrated with in some way. And also, it's a good idea just to try to search the internet or try some simple JavaScript, but it's not a requirement as it is for beginners. And then there's someone asking if the curricula of the course is compared to bachelor university courses, and if it's the same in terms of content and difficulty. I would say that it's not at the same level as it's only 12 weeks. At least you will not have the chance to learn as much as you would do in one semester at university, because it's only 3 hours a week, and that's not the same requirement for an exam and the difficulty of it. At least the JavaScript course is more simple than it would be at university, just in terms of that you have less time that you would usually have when you study it. So it's not the same level, but it's still a level that will give you a good start from becoming better at coding or better at data analytics. And I think there's also some questions for SQL and Python that Julia will answer.
Yeah, I would just add that the data analytics course, because it has the requirement of Python, when you finish that, you are actually quite advanced, because it's kind of an upskilling. So it's like adding something to something. So it's more than when you're just starting out with JavaScript. So it's almost equivalent to some of the upskilling courses that they offer at, for example, CBS, but a little less focused on the introductory part, which they also learn there. So yes, with SQL and not Python, you will be fine as well. It's more about knowing what goes on when you are programming in general, and using languages that retrieve and access and navigate data. So that's really just fine if you know SQL. But we will talk to you in the interview and see how you feel about. I will ask you some questions about programming that will be specific to the course, so we will know. Yeah.
Hi, Julia. This is Farzana.
Okay. I think, just for clarification, the JavaScript course is at a more basic level than the data analytics course. And also to give some context, data analytics and JavaScript, both of them, is something that you can progress in your whole life. People who end out working professionally with web development often have coded for some years or have taken a long education. It's not that you need to code for a lot of years before getting a job, but there's just differences. Some companies will have some internships where it's also part of the plan that you will learn from the others at the company, and other companies think that you should already be a professional before you start. But it's just to say that it's really a field, like IT is a field where you can always build upon your competences. So taking a course here is also a starting point, at least with JavaScript, where data analytics is a bit more advanced. Yes. And I actually don't know if there's questions that's not answered yet. I think you, Julia, I think maybe this also relates to you. I don't know if you also answered that, but it just says that if you don't have SQL experience or Python experience, if it's okay to apply for data analytics course. And it is okay, it's okay to apply. The rule is that if you get a seat, then you should take some specific courses so we know that you are on the right level.
There's a question here. I only have 2% better. If you don't have any knowledge at all, wait, what was the question again? I am good? No, where? Blackwood. I am good in SQL and Python. Where? Hun skriver, hun er god. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, you do need some knowledge. But again, I will ask you some questions around some basic questions and then check with you. I won't require like a certificate or a specific proof. It will just be more a conversation, and we'll figure out whether or not you're a fit. Also in comparison to the other participants. So if a lot of people apply and none of them know Python, then you're pretty good. But if all of them apply and know Python a little bit and not too much, then you will not be standing good. Yes, with the chance of learning some extra things on the way. Was there a question about the data analytics? There was a project, yeah. So there won't be, I mean, through the course you will be working with different data sets, and they will be mini projects along the way. And at the very end, you will have to perform your own predictive model, which you will have to do at home, and then you will get feedback from the teachers. So not something you do in class, but rather something you like a homework project, which can also work as your sort of portfolio finishing. So you can choose between different data sets, and then you have to perform it yourself. Yeah.
Yes. I just want to add that like both data analytics and JavaScript is very practical skills. So all of the courses, there will be some sort of projects. It's just not a project that goes from the beginning to the end. So it's not a 12-week project, but all of them is project oriented, and it's the only way to learn is to do it. So it's not a theoretical course at all. It's really about using the skills that you learn in practice.
All right, then we have some different questions relating to if you can take more than one course. And unfortunately, no, you can't take more than one in the same semester because it's at the same time. All of our 4 tech student courses, which is Introduction to JavaScript, Introduction to Data Analytics, User Experience, and User Interface. They're all Tuesdays, 5:30 to 8:30. So unfortunately, no, you can't, but you're welcome to apply for one and then next semester apply for another one. Do we have more questions? Yeah. All right, everyone, just bring your questions to the table.
How many hours?
That's also a good question, because I actually forgot to say anything about homework. We mentioned it briefly, but there will be this teaching of 3 hours, but we have a teaching model, if you could say so, or philosophy of a flipped classroom. So you will make a lot of the work at home. as homework and where you will struggle with everything, and then you will get back to the class and get clarified on all the things you didn't succeed with at home. So there will be a lot of homework. I think we set it around 5 hours a week. Maximum? Okay. Maximum 5 hours a week for the homework. But it is, I mean, if you spend 3 hours, I would say that's the minimum for homework if you want to get the things out of it that we hope for, that you will get out of it. And if you want to spend more time, that's also fine, but between 3 and 5 hours.
And I think Go ahead. Sorry about that. We're in the same room. It's some technical stuff. I think maybe Gohar has a better idea about exactly how much time it will be needed to spend, because we tell the teachers that there should be some homework and that students can have up to 5 hours a week, but it's also there's more work when the project is started than in the beginning, I guess. So maybe Gohar has a better idea about it than I do.
Yes, but I think it's very individual also. Like, it depends on a student. If they have families and children, it's obviously you can't invest so much time, and 5 hours are quite enough during the week, because our homeworks also, they are structured in a way that to be able to read something and to build something, but then not to suffer on it so much. Since you have only 5 hours, it's quite enough to finish. But then it's up to students if you want to have extra, to spend extra time and just read something extra or do some other small exercises online, then you can get more for sure. And if you spend more than 5 hours, you will have better outcome at the end. It's for sure. With coding, this is the interesting part. You can't ever say that you know very good code, like, or you are so much good in coding. You just need to practice all the time. Just to make it your lifestyle, like, let's say like that, live with it. So 5 hours are enough, but if you spend more, then it's better for you.
Thanks for that, Gohar.
All right, Bhuvaneshwari, you say that you asked your question again because I didn't get it quite correct. Your question is if you can apply for both and be secure to have one of them. Is that correct? If so, I would say that in the application form, we will have in this semester that you can type in your first and second priority. So if you have 2 courses that you're interested in, then you type in which of the 2 you would prefer. Yes, and if that doesn't answer your questions, okay, great. And thank you for clarifying the question. And then Ruma, you ask if you want to apply for JavaScript and are new to coding, if there are preference given to candidates who have some knowledge beforehand. And it's not like it is, as Frida also mentioned, it is an introduction to JavaScript. So you don't need to know any JavaScript terms or anything before. But as I mentioned during the selection criteria, I walked you through it. We do prioritize candidates who have an idea of what they want to use it for. So if you have worked with something completely else until now in your life, and you want to change career path, that's totally fine, and that's also a good reason for you to want to learn JavaScript. So it's not like you need anything specific knowledge on it beforehand. You just need to know why you want to learn it, because we think it would be a shame if we gave the seat to a student who might not use it at all. then we would prioritize to give the seat to someone who would actually use it. I hope that was a clear answer to that question. Otherwise, just write back to me. Okay. All right. Any more questions? Then just please bring them on.
Hi,
Nope.
Maya.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Farzana. I'm sorry
Hi,
about
Farzana.
my voice. Hi, I'm sorry about my voice. um, I'm just recovering. So, I have a question that I'm very interested about data analytics, but I have zero idea about Python or Ruby, but I have little bit idea, as you know, JavaScript. So, for to applying on this subject, do I need to start studying Python from my own at home to get a seat over there?
Yes, you do. I mean, this is really also just for you to feel ready for the course, because otherwise, when you join the course, we will already expect that you know basics, and it will be really hard for you in the beginning to follow. So also just for your own sake, just take the 6-hour link course that I sent you, or try some other resources. There was someone posting something, but also look, I mean, if you just Google Python for beginners, there was many options on the internet. Udemy has stuff, Free Code Camp, just depending on how much time you have. Some of them are really long, some of them are a bit shorter, but check with the link that I sent on Data Camp. You can see the introduction to Python and intermediate, and then see what you learn in those 2 courses, and then try and find something that is similar to that. So depending on if you want to spend, I don't know, a weekend on it, or you want to spend 2 weeks on it, there will be different resources for you to find. But the 6-hour video that I sent will be enough.
The YouTube one, right?
Yes, the YouTube one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try this. Thank you.
Welcome.
I was just about to write it in the chat, but now I'll just say it. We'll also send the links for the data camp to all applicants for the data analytics course. So if you choose to apply for the data analytics, then you will receive an email with the link. So you don't have to stress about if you didn't get it here in the chat. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you won't get access to the courses on Data Camp. You will just see the content, and you can do the introduction for beginners, but you will have to continue on your own somewhere else, because we will only be able to give out licenses to our students. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, sorry if I confused anyone about it. The point is that if you think you lack that knowledge right now of Python and still want to apply for data analytics, please do so. And if we choose to invite you for the interview and to give you a seat, then you have access to the data camp courses. Yes. Some of you ask if it's possible to get a job after finishing the course. We can't guarantee that, no. We know that the competences you get from being with Ready School give you some new skills and add on what you already have, but we can't guarantee anything relating or regarding if you will be able to get a job based on it. I mean, as Frida just said, it is only once a week for 13 weeks. So it is kind of a basic package you're going through. So it will not be like a university degree as we talked about earlier.
Really?
Yeah.
And I think there's a question for Julia about Python.
Yeah. So you can also, I mean, R, SQL, and Ruby will also be good, but you need to be able to, in the interview, show that you understand those languages in relation to data. and data collection and data handling in some way. So not that you have worked with data sets and that you've already done some data analytics, but that you understand the very basic concept of how you can use programming languages like R, like SQL, like Ruby to access things outside. But that is something you learn on a very early stage when you're working with programming. So, yeah.
All right. And then I have some messages in my private chat from some of you, and I would just say to all of you, just apply. All of you fit the criteria, and please just apply, and then we will take a look at it closely at the interviews if you fit the other criteria.
Just to make sure that I answered Miriam properly, you only need to know one of them. You don't need to know more than Python or SQL, or I don't know if I made it sound like you need to know all of them a little bit, but just one is enough. Yeah.
Yes, and for JavaScript, you don't need to know any languages before.
All right. Any more questions? It kind of feels awkward not to be able to see all of you at the same time, just talking to the screen. But just please, if you have more questions, just write them now in the chat. Nope. If you have some questions tomorrow or in a week or in January, don't hesitate to contact me on email or by phone, and then we're always ready to help you in this. Ready to help you. Actually, I don't think it's funny, but they do. All right, no more questions. Then, oh, okay. Okay, it's just a comment. Then we just want to end up not by doing an exercise together because we are all apart, but doing a little, some questions again. If you all go to the Slido again, let me see if I do have here. The slido.com and type in 11133. And then I will share the results here. Yes. Okay. I found all answers. I found answers to all my questions. Okay. Because it's totally fine if some of you are still in doubt about some things, and then you should just get back to us. And yes, great. If someone's still in doubt, that's just totally fine. And then we have one last question for you, which is, how would you describe this session in one word? And you can take some time to just reflect on it. You don't have to hurry. If you should just use one word.
And I can see that not everybody is in Slido. So if some of you didn't get the chance to log in the beginning, then we can just stay here a bit so you have some more time. I think sometimes it takes a bit longer to log into something than you expect when you do a presentation. So don't feel that you were not super tech savvy or something. We know that it takes some time to log in. So you have some more time. We're not in a rush.
Okay, everyone, while this is popping up with new words, we just want to say thank you for your time here today, and we will keep this at the board for some time, so you can just take your time typing in your word, and then just say thank you for today, and keep the good spirits. I was so inspired by what you said, Goha, and I hope that all our students get that feeling from being with us. But apply, and then we'll take a look at it. And thank you for today.